Nebius signed a $17.4 billion AI infrastructure deal with Microsoft, and their shares have jumped over 50%. You can see where the market hasn't quite opened yet, but in the pre-market, they're up 53%. They're about to trade for $100 a share. So the magnitude of this deal is pretty crazy. But anyways, the deal is worth $17.4 billion over a 5-year term, sending the shares over 50%. We talked about that. Microsoft may also acquire additional services capacity under the deal, bringing the total contract to $19.4 billion. Nebius' core business involves providing NVIDIA graphics processing units and AI cloud as services. Nebius offers AI developers the computing, storage, managed services, and tools they need to build, tune to run their AI models with the help of its cloud software architecture and in-house design hardware. So what's your gut reaction when you hear something like this, Startup Hack?
So this deal underscores the surging demand for high-performance AI compute, right? As companies invest heavily to try to bolster their AI infrastructure. Now, AI compute is something that everybody from small businesses to large businesses are trying to figure out how to fund, right? I've talked about it here on my channel. I show you how to do a DIY AI server for under $500 because everybody's trying to build something that's going to run these LLMs. And in order to do that, the cheapest way to do it is GPUs and the most efficient way. So power per watt, GPUs are your most efficient way of providing this. So when you see a big group like this, Microsoft's trying to figure out how to compete with somebody like Elon, who's spending billions of dollars amassing every AI GPU compute that they can get to help bolster their AI. So this is really funding like the way forward. And so it's a wild west to power grab every single bit of GPU compute you can get.
So maybe enlighten me a little bit on this. So where does Nebius fit? Because Nebius is providing the GPU infrastructure, so they're buying the chips from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is still winning. I thought maybe this would be like a replacement for NVIDIA and people were going to start competing, but no, this just boosts NVIDIA even more. Is this basically Microsoft's own startup pack where like, hey, we want you guys to handle everything from GPU to infrastructure to storage, like power consumption. You guys take care of that and we'll just pay you guys a good chunk of money. Is that what it is? Just a middleman?
100%. And it allows Nebius to build a focus on GPU hosting. See, Microsoft's been really good at hosting cloud hosting for a long time, their Azure infrastructure. But cloud hosting and GPU hosting are two different things. The other part to this, too, is this is going to their GPUs get older faster than cloud hosting does. That's one of the other problems of GPU hosting right now is your lifespan on a GPU chip is about 5 to 6 years. In cloud hosting, you can keep a set of cloud servers around for a decade, right? And so, and then actually a lot of times they'll even put them out to pasture as like low cost or discount hosting, right? And especially in Microsoft, where they have things like with Azure, where they have different type of services like functions, where you can actually just get free compute. Essentially, they can keep servers around for up to 20 years. GPUs, their absolute maximum lifespan is 7, but really probably more like 5. And so, this is a smart move by Microsoft because they don't have to build; it's a buy versus build.
Got it. And it shifts just the burden of responsibility of having to maintain all of that hardware and the security around it. And yeah, so I think it's smart. And I mean, this company is let me see their market cap really quick because it's
an interesting thing about the hosting here is in cloud hosting, security is of utmost performance. GPU is very passive. The data goes through it, it gets processed, and it comes out. You don't store GPU hosting or the data on the GPU.
Yeah.
And so with that, it actually does make it a simpler model for them to be able to focus on that. Whereas Microsoft is under, as we recently see from Pete Hegseth, Microsoft's under a ton of scrutiny for what data goes through their servers.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that that's a bad thing, but I mean, customers are also just pumping these LLMs full of data, which we'll talk about. There's just a bunch of data mismanagement on all sides of the coin. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Nebius Group is currently at I believe this is already factoring in the deal, maybe not $15 billion, but if it's not, then it'll put them at over $20 billion. So yeah, like 22. So Yeah, a huge deal for that company. I believe it's an Amsterdam company, which is interesting that it's not a US. Like, obviously, you would think that if you wanted to be in the good graces of the White House, you would do this deal with the White House, with a US based company.
So this could be this is for the European and Eastern Bloc hosting. This may not have anything to actually do with the US hosting. I'd have to dig further into the deal to find out. But this also may be a move because they don't actually want to build elsewhere, that this is actually just a way to even tell the Trump administration, hey, look, we're not going to invest in other places. We're just going to contract it. And that
Yeah.
shows actually a sign of wanting to invest in the US.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, consider checking out the full podcast here and subscribing. Every Tuesday morning. Startup Hack and I go live where we talk about that AI drama, the tech drama, and all the business drama out there. So consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.